Imagine that you are hearing from early childhood that the skills that you were born with are not gifts but a curse, and you should suppress your skills, otherwise you won't be accepted. How damaging is that? It basically communicates. If you have a traumatic background like Elsa has, your self-discovery journey will look very similar to this. Hello and welcome to the Sapiego channel. I am Bori and I am super excited about today's song and topic. Let It Go from Disney's animated movie Frozen had a huge effect on my life, which I'm going to share at the end of this video. Therefore, I can hardly wait to discuss all the themes in this song with you. This video is the first part of a three-part video series where I'm going to discuss Elsa's journey from being oppressed, isolated and shut down to being accepted, loved and finding her authentic self and purpose. Using Elsa's example, I'm going to highlight some steps you most likely take on a real-life self-discovery journey. Doing so, I would like to inspire you to search your soul, take your own steps, never give up, and ultimately arrive to a point where you can be your true authentic self and be able to express yourself freely. Let's start to dive into Let It Go. If you don't know the song, listen to my cover version first and then come back to this review video. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. The kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The start of the song is just absolutely heartbreaking. The only thing that Elsa has experienced since she was a little child is pure isolation. No friends, no contact with her sister. Her only contacts were her parents, but since they died, she'd been completely alone. And when there was some hope of reconnecting at the party, that went bad and she ended up being isolated again. In real life, when you are not accepted for who you really are, for your true personality, you can often feel isolated. You feel that you don't fit in, therefore you create this separated world for yourself where you can feel safe and protected, but you are very, very lonely. You can isolate yourself literally, physically, where you don't really go out to meet people because you only feel safe between four walls. Or you can go out, but you can put on a mask and you don't show your true authentic personality, thus creating invisible walls around you that nobody can penetrate. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Elsa's feeling so much guilt and shame for what she had done, both to Anna in their childhood and both for what happened on the coronation day. Couldn't keep it in. Heaven knows I tried. If you try to push your true personality down and suppress it and hide those things that you think that others would condemn, that's not a good strategy. Because these things will pile up deep under the surface and sooner or later you will build up so much stress that there will be an event that will trigger you and you will just lash out and all the things you wanted to swipe under the rug will burst out uncontrolled. And you will create more damage compared to if you'd let people know incrementally who you really are and how you operate. But how could you know this and rationally think this through when you were only a little child and trusted your parents and followed their advice and lead? How many times have you heard that? Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Imagine that you are hearing from early childhood that the skills that you were born with are not gifts but a curse and you should suppress your skills, otherwise you won't be accepted. How damaging is that? It basically communicates that you are not good the way you are. As a result, you can feel as a weirdo and you have no opportunity to develop your skill set in a safe space and in a healthy way. If you are not allowed to practice, of course you will be afraid of your capabilities and might end up misusing them. Usually, when you suppress your needs for a long time, there is a catalyst event and then just all hell breaks loose. You just lash out without thinking, you react furiously to a situation. And what you have done sinks in only later. But by that time, you've already acted out and now everybody knows the thing you wanted to hide. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Paradoxically, when the thing you wanted to hide is finally out in the open, that can create a safe space for you to start to discover your true potential and personality. As it creates a safe space to Elsa to start to experiment with her powers without the threat of hurting anybody, and she starts to feel liberated. Let it go, let it go.
Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on.
A true skill set and personality is just something that wants to express itself, and you either accidentally slip these things out because of the underlying emotional tension makes you lash out one day, or one day you can make a conscious decision that from that day on you are not hiding anymore, no matter what the consequences will be. In Elsa's case, this was a purely accidental shift. She completely acted on impulse. You, in real life, can make more conscious decisions and set more conscious goals. If you would like to set goals which are based on your true authentic self and are in full alignment with your own values and desires, I can help you do that with my stress-free effective goal setting course. You can find the course on the Sapiego website, sapiego.com, under the Academy section. I've based the course on my own experiences, so I only teach what I personally practice and what's working for me. For example, I used the stress-free effective goal setting method to create Sapiego.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
You make your first step towards authenticity, like Elsa admits that she is not cold at all. She starts to accept that she is different from the rest of the people. Even if not in the perfect way, but you took your first step on the road of self-discovery towards becoming your truest, purest self. And you finally allow yourself to start to dream of a better life. So, let's do that. I invite you to close your eyes, put a smile on your face, look deep inside, concentrate on your inner voice, and listen to what it says to the question. If there were no limitations at all, who would you be and how would you live your life? If I close my eyes, what comes to me from the deepest spheres of my soul and my heart is singing. I would just love to sing as much as I can, tell stories through songs, and touch and uplift anybody who is open to this experience. I would like to find a good agent, collaborate with amazing musicians who write deep and meaningful songs. I would love to perform regularly and give back to the community via music. If you support my dream, please like and comment on this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to help the channel grow. Thank you, I really appreciate your help.
It's funny how some distance makes everything small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all.
When you finally have the opportunity to see your life from a different perspective, from a different angle, you realize that what was hugely important and hugely impacted you before is not as impactful or important at all. This helps you to get conscious about and overcome your fears, and you can start to feel more control over your life.
It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through.
Imagine the relief and the feeling of freedom that finally you can be yourself and you can embrace your skills. You are in a phase of pure experimentation to see what you are capable of.
No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free.
In Elsa's case, previously everything was regulated. She had to abide to strict rules. She could never be herself. So it is not a surprise that she is a little bit overreacting. She basically doesn't care about anybody else at this moment, just herself. She is free of any responsibilities and she finds it liberating.
Let it go, I'm one with the wind and sky.
The feeling that this freedom gives you wings and you can fly.
Let it go, you never see me cry.
When you do the thing you love and you can be yourself, you are in the flow, which is the most joyous and uplifting state you can be in. For example, I am definitely in the flow when I create these videos. I would love to do as many as I can. The only setback is that creating the videos require a lot of time and money. Therefore, if you are enjoying this video and you find it valuable, please consider supporting the costs of the channel by becoming a patron. In return, you can vote for songs that you would like me to sing and review, have early access to videos and behind-the-scenes materials. You can find the details on sapiego.com/patrons. I am really grateful for each of you who are supporting me and the channel this way.
My power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around.
Now Elsa finally has a safe space to start to experiment with her powers without any constraint and control, without fear of that she would hurt somebody. In this safe space, there are no rules that she needs to follow, nothing is right or wrong. She is finally free to express herself the way she would like to. And this starts to lift her spirit. She realizes that the sky is the limit for her, and she can just express herself like nature expresses herself. After so many years of misery, she finally starts to find playfulness and lets the joy of creativity and self-expression enter into her life. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. When you finally start to use your skill set in a way that is natural, joyful, and productive, you get into the flow and you just want to stay in that state. You discover how powerful you are, how much inner strength you have, how much influence you actually have over your own life and over the direction you want your life to go. This feeling is so good that you never want to go back to that limited, self-loathing and self-suppressing person who you were before. This is a phase of rebellion when you try to figure out who you are without anybody else and without the customs and expectations that formerly bound you. Let it go, and I'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, the perfect girl is gone. Declaring independence and living on your own terms by your own values.
Here I stand in the light of day.
This is such a beautiful metaphor. No matter if you were locked into a cold, dark room for years and never saw the sun like Elsa, or you were locked into a mental prison being sad and depressed, at this moment you become free from all of that. Your soul is finally free, and the feeling of complete freedom and that finally you can shine the way you are meant to shine is just exhilarating and uplifting. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. When you go through a transformation like this, at the end of the process you are finally ready to let your true personality come forward, shine, and to be seen by others as well. Okay, at the end of this song Elsa is still isolated because she still thinks that the best way to keep everybody safe is just being alone. But she underwent a deep inner work to uncover her true personality, to figure out who she would like to be and how she would like to express herself. She's also learned a lot about how she can use her magic in a controlled way, which allows her to build beautiful things like her breathtaking ice castle instead of creating destruction around her. What's great about Frozen and Let It Go is that it is completely based on a real-life self-discovery journey. If you have a traumatic background like Elsa has, your self-discovery journey will look very similar to this. In your childhood, for whatever reason, you need to suppress yourself, therefore you have a lot of guilt, shame, self-loathing, and you think that you are not good enough or you are not lovable. As you reach your teenage or young adult years and you see more and more of the world, you will start to figure out that the way you live is not normal. Also, you have so many suppressed feelings and desires that want to come out that there will be an event that triggers you so much that you cannot hold back anything anymore. Your anger towards others and yourself finds its way to the surface and you act out or lash out and you start to rebel against people and circumstances in your life. You arrive to a phase when you say, F everybody, from now on I only care about myself, I will live on my own terms and I don't care about any of you. You need to experience your power to start to stand up for yourself and start to figure out who you really are. As you go through this phase, your anger slowly fades. You eventually calm down and become able to start to think a little bit more consciously and examine your situation more rationally. I personally went through this self-discovery journey as well, although my rebellious self emerged in my mid-30s instead of my teenage years and was less intense and more quiet. However, I grappled with the same problems as Elsa. What happened was that after I moved to the UK, there was a period in my life when I was very, very lonely and I had to make a decision about which direction I would take my life to. While previously in Hungary I seemingly had everything, like a family, a boyfriend, friends and a flat which we owned, After I moved to the UK, I ended up being alone without connections, friends or family, and all I experienced was just pure uncertainty. I was living in a shared house with strangers. My boyfriend at that time went back to Hungary and we were stuck in a long-distance relationship. On top of that, I hardly got by financially. I did not have a safety net at all. I was grappling with questions like, should I go home, go back to my previous life and to the previous circumstances, both mentally and physically? Or should I stay in the UK and try to follow my dreams, which seemed so far-fetched at that time? If you are interested, I discuss this topic in more detail in my stress-free effective goal setting course, so head over to the Sapiego website to check it out. At that time, logically, everything pointed to the direction to go back to Hungary, to go back to my previous life, to the perceived safety. But for some strange reason that I cannot really explain, I could not do it. And since I was alone, I had a lot of time to think. And I started to discover who am I without all those people in my life and without my previous career. I started to realize that my family of origin is not healthy, and also I wanted more for myself than my previous environment wanted to allow me to achieve. As a result, I kind of day by day made the decision to stay in the UK. And during this period, one day I discovered Frozen, and being a musically focused person, Let It Go just stuck with me instantly because it hit so hard. I listened to it so many times and I was singing it to myself everywhere, at home, on the street, at work. And sometimes I cried my eyes out. I was so broken by being in the same situation as Elsa that I wanted to break free, find my authentic self and be true to myself, but I felt that I was still chained to my previous life. It was extremely hard to let the old life go, especially the illusion of relationships. But more and more I wanted to do it. And the line, I'm never going back, the past is in the past, gave me so much strength to hold on tight to my dreams no matter what, and take the next step and then the next step and start to create my new life on my own terms. Listening to Let It Go over and over gave me space to grieve for my old self, my old life, my old relationships, and also helped my current life and personality to start to emerge. This song just kept reinforcing the feeling in me that it was worth staying and one day I would have a breakthrough. So, why I think that Let It Go is one of the best motivational, liberating and transformational songs written ever? Because it is based on real life. Lots of us experience what Elsa experiences, feel what Elsa feels, therefore it is extremely easy to relate to this song. Firstly, it motivates you to look back at your life, assess what you like and don't like from your past, figure out what is important to you, what are your values, and make a decision about who you want to be in the future and how you want to live your life. Secondly, it encourages you to embrace your skills and master them. Thirdly, it motivates you to hold on to your decision, be persistent, and never give up, no matter how hard the circumstances are. What does this song mean to you? What ideas, thoughts you can identify with or opposed to? Have you experienced similar events in your life? Let me know in the comments. What is the next step on a self-discovery journey? I'm going to explain it through another powerful Frozen song, Into the Unknown, in the next video. See you there!